Hey everyone, it's Katie from Bobby Hair Studio. Today I'm going to show you how to properly go from blonde to brunette in one appointment. This sounds a lot easier than it looks, but if you're a hairdresser, you know this isn't that easy, especially when you want to get a really natural looking tone to match your client's natural color. So this is what I did on my client today. This is her end result. We got her to a really beautiful, natural, beigey brown color that's a slight bit lighter than her natural so that it can fade over the next couple months and we can retone her as needed. So let's get started. My client here has about a level 6 or 7 root, depending on the line that you're working with. For me, this looks like a 6.5. My camera tends to make things a little bit lighter than they naturally are, as my tables are black, and you can see they don't actually look black in the camera. But she has this old blonding, and she wants to go more natural. So what we're going to do first is we're going to fill her with something with some copper tones in it. So I like to use TBH because TBH actually tends to hold in color better than Vibrance in my opinion. It's a little bit stronger, it's kind of between a demi and a permanent, so this is why I like to fill with TBH. I'm starting with 747, which is a copper beige color, and I'm doing 33 grams of that. And then I did a little bit more of the 9-47, which is the same color in a lighter shade. And mixing those two is gonna make it like a level 8-47. And when I do my first fill, I always like to keep it a level or two above the desired outcome level that we're going for, which is kind of around a level 7 that we're going for today. So our first fill is going to be a level 8, and we're gonna have warm tones in it so it can hold on to our next color that we're putting in. I mixed it up with an equal amount of developer, and she's real creamy, she's ready to go. And what I'm doing here too is because it's such an orangey color, I am keeping it away from her virgin root. I found that with Vibrance, it is a great color line to tone with, but when I'm trying to fill and make someone actually darker, I do prefer to use TBH. I do find it stronger, I find it lasts longer, and I find it fills better as well. And it keeps clients' hair from looking hollow. So as you're gonna see, this fill is gonna go on. It's very creamy, easy to apply, but I am taking small sections to make sure that I get everything fully saturated so there's no patches left out. The reason why we do a fill as well is so that we can make sure that the very porous ends of the hair and different areas of the hair that might have different porosity is all filled up correctly before we put on her desired color. Because if we don't do that, her desired color will be very patchy, it'll be hollow, it'll maybe even go a little bit green if we go for an ashy tone. So it is important to put in a color that has some warmth in it, actually a lot of warmth, to hold in that color. And now she's gonna process for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we're going to rinse her out. And after we rinse her out, we're just gonna blow dry her and get her essentially ready for her next color. And here is her color after we washed her and blow dried her. It's actually a really, really beautiful rose gold. So if you ever wanna do a rose gold color, keep this formula in mind because of that beige tone. And whenever you're doing fillers for blonde hair, put in more orange than you think you need because otherwise you're gonna get a very hollow result. This is a color that I am happy with because we're going for a cooler toned brunette color. But again, if you don't have experience with filling hair, the more orange, the better. It may seem really scary, but a lot of it ends up getting spat out by the blonde hair because it's so open and porous. But now that we've done that first color, it's helped to halfway seal the hair and halfway fill the hair, and it's getting ready for the next color. And even though we're going for a cooler toned brown, I'm still going to have a lot of the formula have a natural color in it. And the naturals in Schwarzkopf are a little on the warmer side because I still want to make sure there's longevity in her hair color. So here is the formulation for her final color. It's a 7-06, which is a natural chocolate, and a 7-16, which is a cool tone cendre chocolate. And those two getting mixed together on top of the beige color she already has is going to give her a very natural look. I'm very excited for this because it's going to blend into her natural root very nicely, even though her natural is closer to like a 6.5. This is gonna give her a really soft grow out because I never wanna go too dark with my fill the first time I bring someone from blonde to brunette. That can easily happen. And because of porosity issues with the hair, I don't like to formulate on level because it can suddenly suck up and go too dark and then suddenly they're stuck with really dark looking hair. I'm putting 7-16 in the bowl, and I'm doing about 42 grams of this. And then 7-06, I'm putting in another 30 grams of that. So there's a little bit more of the Cool Tone 7 in there. And then of course, equal parts with the Toner Developer, which is a Vibrance 6 volume, I'm pretty sure. I think this is the lotion as well, if I'm correct. Something to keep in mind with blondes is anything darker than a bright blonde is going to look very dark to them, especially when they first go from blonde to a dark color. So whenever a blonde sits in my chair and they say, I want to be brunette, I do make them a shade lighter than what they want to be, because usually once they see it on their face and it changes their skin color and eye color all together, everything reflects off of each other. And once you get that dark color back on there, it can be a little darker than you thought. Because worst case scenario, we can deepen it down if it's too light. But if I go too dark, then they just have to wait for the color to rinse away, and then I try retoning her next time. If there's porosity issues in some areas, don't want to drop out as much color, it becomes an issue. So just little key tip for everybody there, go lighter than you think you need, because oftentimes blondes get a little freaked out when they first go back to brunette. Now that the color is applied everywhere, she's going to sit for about 20 to 25 minutes to let this fully process, and then we're going to wash her out in the sink and see what we have. This is her color in the sink, and even though it looks really good in the sink, I think it's going to be a little bit too light and a smidgen too hollow for her. So I'm actually going to go over her hair with a glaze in Vibrance, and I'm going to use something that I never use, which is 7-0. Now in Vibrance, this color tends to be quite orangey and quite warm, so I don't almost ever use it on my blondes unless I'm filling. This is a fantastic color to put a little extra shine and fill into your color on a level 7. Now that we've washed her, dried her, and styled her, this is her final color. It's even from root to end. She's looking gorgeous, and I'm very happy with this formulation. If you guys like this formulation, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you guys would like to support me even further, remember to follow me on Instagram at Bobby Hair Studio, and my personal hair Instagram is vancity.blonde. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.